All right, the lead up is complete. Team USA looking for their first title since 2017. And those stats right there, John, are the big league pull up as Ronald Acuna Jr. comes up to the plate to lead. Leads off the game. Off we go with a line drive base hit to left center field. Acuna wastes no time doing what he off first. McLean will check on him, and he's back in there.
This lineup jats.
Michael Garcia had the game-winning hit last night. Perfect example of what you're talking about. 2 strike hits. Italy just couldn't put him away. This is on the ground to third and could be 2. There's one and a double play.
You have in the big leagues. That right there is the set. That's what he needed to reset the heartbeat. This is not normal.
Out there and actually execute on those feelings. Luis Ariz with a weak fly ball into center field. And thanks to the double play ball, it takes him just 5. Championship game from Mark DeRosa. The noteworthy spots are at third base, right like the hill for Venezuela. Bobby Witt Jr. leads off and sends a fly ball to center field that Jackson Churio will drift back on. And both leadoff hitters, as an old guy, 33 years old, decade in the big leagues. How in the world is he going to get? Normally, you'd be feeling like this time of year, and you just say, okay, still got about a week each day. Try to make it click in. Slices a pop fly into shallow left field, and an easy one for Ezequiel Tovar. 2 up and 2 down for Russ. For the best hitter in the game.
What Rodriguez does really well when it almost feels like 98.
Taking a change, ball 2. Finish him. And Rodriguez does.
Of winning this WBC. Joe.
There's a 95 pitch limit. Lead off. And he takes ball 1 from McLean.
Thing to watch there in the first inning. I know there wasn't a lot of. So he is definitely juiced up. And that'll wear off in a little bit. One right here.
And he likes to swing at those, no matter where they are. Got a chase on one of those big breaking pitches.
He throws across his body, tough on right-handers. If he does, or forcing it, he's in a good spot. And right there is a good example. That's 99 miles an hour, and I'm sure some people come down just a little bit, but he is ready.
Yeah, and then a breaking pitch pours in there. Quickly 0-2 on, and that win against Italy. Wow. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Going to set the tone. It's going to keep this crowd at a dull roar when you're on the road. USA.
Tovar pokes one off the end of the bat, sinking for a 2-out hit. The shortstop of the Colorado Rockies, who's had a big WBC. One of the biggest swings of this tournament came from this guy right here, Wilyer Abreu. Outfielder for the Boston Red Sox against Japan. They trailed a lot of that game, and then Abreu a home run that turned that game around, and as loud of a roar as you'll ever hear. This group, they've got 4 Gold Glovers. Abreu's played 2 seasons in the majors. High fly into shallow left center field. Bobby Witt waits for it to come down, and Nolan McLean 2 scores.
League executives with instructions on relief pitching. The Cubs said that closer Daniel Palencia can only pitch in a save.
It's more than 3 innings from Eduardo Rodriguez. It lasted less than 3 against the Dominican Republic as it misses away to Kyle Schwarber, and it's 2-1. 2-1 from Rodriguez. Schwarber dumps it back.
Yeah, they're really going to need 4 innings for a perfect scenario for Team Venezuela, because they think they'd be less crisp.
And failed to get out of the 3rd against the Dominican Republic in his first start of the Classic. His 2-2 to Schwarber is cut on and missed. Guy that does not.
He's challenging the U.S. hitters too with that fastball cutter, and he's.
And there's some good problems for Mark DeRosa to have, but as he said all tournament, man, we only got 9.
Because his pitch recognition from a hitter stand.
Soft bouncing ball right side. Ariz will take it himself. 2 up and 2 down in the 2nd. Park in Miami, jam-packed for every game. So much passion. Just a wonderful. Roman Anthony taking a little bit inside, ball 1. Here's one of the stars for Team USA. And look, had the game-winning home run against the Dominican Republic Sunday.
Well, with Salvador Perez back there, fastball in, then away. Moving it around is going to be the key for success.
The 2-1 pitch is down and away, and ball 3. This is something that they saw into opening day for the Red Sox. Big swing and a little tapper. Has some English on it, but it's picked up by Rodriguez, who's retired the first.
Like sinkers and off his speed.
Dumps a base hit into right field to start. Beautiful thing for Team Venezuela. Their captain, Salvador Perez, leading off this inning with a base hit. Perez had been 0 for his last 9. Did not play in the getting a championship. So he's at first, and Jackson Churrio's at the plate. Churrio's down quickly on 3 pitches. McLean gets Nolan McLean. Last year in his 8 starts for the Mets, he touched 90 quarterfinal to open the game. Swings and misses at a sweeper, and it's 1-2. The front runner going into the year for National League Rookie of the Year right here. Fires a 1-2. With a change there's in the major leagues. The MVP a couple years back has worked the count full. That's where he. Missed high with a fastball. Last night and is hitting above 400 in this tournament. An all-star last year for the Kansas City Royals. Not a name that even. That's to the backstop. He overthrows the curve and the runners advance. Garcia drives the ball to left center field. Buxton in the run will get there. But 1 pitch after the wild pitch, Venezuela strikes first. Salvador Perez.
Well, the byproduct of runners on second and third might have. And this one is right down the middle and up. And that's the easiest pitch to hit a fly ball to score that run. So one thing leads to the other. And the stress of second and third.
Strike 1 on Luis Arrive. So for the 2nd consecutive game, Michael 0-2.
May not like the average exit velocity that he has in an era where we're so consumed.
Tony Gwynn. Arise. Pulls one sharply, but it's right at Bryce Terrain. Venezuela's on the board first. A sacrifice home run. 11th inning of Game 7. Skies this one down the left field line into the triangle out there. Who will it be? Abreu the call. John way more through the 2 weeks in this tournament than anybody fathomed, and that is U.S.'s offense.
Hard to explain, but I think if they're down there talking, they're like, let's just see what he's like out of the stretch. Crack the base and then go from there.
Bryce Terrain taking a little bit low in ball 1. On 1-0. Grounds one right side and through, and there is the first base runner for Team USA. Not a surprise that it's Terrain.
Here in the 3rd inning.
That is Byron Buxton. Looking for his first hit of this World Baseball Classic. Takes a strike. Goes Judge, Otani, Yordan Alvarez. Best hitters, most exciting players out there. Swing and a miss. A fastball. 3 years. Takes his lead at first. Not going. Buxton's down on strikes. He's got that change-up butterflying up there.
Right now, and mixing and matching. In, fastball, and then change-up.
Who just missed connecting on a home run. First pitch of the ball game for Team USA. Flied out to center field. Turner was the star at shortstop. In the air to center field, sends Churrio back. He's got it spotted, says, I've got it. That's the inning. The championship. Against Italy. 3 strikeouts, the 1-run last inning on a sacrifice. And he's in there with strike 1. 24 years of age. He was a two-way guy. He had 36 home runs during his time there. And he was a two-sport team at Oklahoma State. Swing and a miss, 1-2 on Suarez. The ball, he did some two-way work for the Mets. Just misses away. Count evens 2-2. Fires a 2-2 in the dirt. Started in Double-A, finished up in the major leagues.
Start to a career that hopefully will be a long one.
Here's a payoff and a foul ball. He said still kind of has that, like when you get ready for a football game and you get to play one of them a week. Suarez in some pain after fouling that ball off himself. Another 3-2 and another foul ball. Seen some longer at-bats in this classic. It's a ground ball to second and an easy one for Bryce Terang for the first out of the fourth.
Yeah, he's way up there now, man. I'm telling you, I know Pittsburgh's going to be a little bit and upset some folks.
0-2 on Gleyber Torres. You know, the 23 team didn't have a single guy that had gotten a Cy Young. And pitching has proven to be the biggest reason why they're in this championship. They've only scored 18.
Would like to see some breathing room like you saw the first two games. Much different talent, though, they're playing.
That's strike three on Torres.
Part of the plate, maybe. And they just haven't clicked. Now, when they click, they get into a bunch of momentum, but they just not getting enough guys on base early that you would think would propel this offense.
So it's just low strike. Relative. Tovar flexes this one into foul ground. Bryce Harper runs under it. Quiet inning for Venezuela. Nolan McClass to the fourth.
Is behind you, and they are getting ready to be unleashed once you take it turned into.
Team USA's got 2, 3, and 4 coming up here. Trying to crack through against Eduardo Rodriguez, who's given up just one. The left-hander is actually. Strike one on Bryce Harper, who's horsing around as a kid, playing in the rain, climbed up on the back of a truck, slipped and fell off and broke his two arms. He taught himself how to throw with his left arm. And that's turned out pretty well for him.
Sure has. Pretty good athlete to do that. It's just a little bit off.
Second, Torres. One out.
That timing as he goes. Sometimes you don't recognize that you're not as quick and as strong, and you got to make those adjustments. I'm not saying.
Judge with the bases empty and one out. Could tie it with one swing. Takes ball one. It's the first time for Judge, though. He thinks about his grandfather who was in the Coast Guard. He had an uncle who was in the to do possible. Pops one off the end of the bat, down the line, a rise out of room. Mark DeRosa, after signing up himself, he made some calls and he said, number one, come play for. The 1-2 from Rodriguez. Judge strikes out for the second time. And Eduardo.
What a great sign for him as he moves forward to the regular season. He is painting on his pitches.
Schwarber takes a breaking pitch away. That's a breaking pitch that Rodriguez 1-0. And misses outside. 2-0.
That's the thing. If he misses, he's missing by an inch.
Here he comes to Schwarber. Ball 3. 4-pitch walk, and Schwarber's aboard with 2 gone in the fourth.
Hitter on the middle in fastball or cutter.
Change up perfectly played form for Team Venezuela. Omar Lopez will not win. Little high. On a 1-1 from Rodriguez. Jumps out of the way. Ball 2. Rodriguez is missed. This has kind of been the theme for Team USA. 2-2.
That tied him up just high enough, but that pitch.
2-2. A toss to check on Schwarber. Grounded to short. Tovar's got it. Feeds Torres. And 4 scoreless innings for Eduardo Rodriguez. Nolan McClain onto the top of the 5th. He's playing, giving up 1 run combined through 4 innings. You're a winner, and you're one of the only ones I think that most folks were anticipating.
Establish themselves.
Here's a drive to center field off of the bat of Abreu. Wilyer Abreu hits it out. Ball one on Salvador Perez. Rated as a hitter. Underrated but improving greatly on what is already well above average. Red Sox have won the World Baseball Classic in terms of the impact their players have made. Roman Anthony for Team USA. Start for the Dominican Republic, and then look in the bullpen. What Garrett Whitlock has done, what Greg Weissert did. Back home, and it's full.
I think you're going to see the Boston Red Sox win a lot more games than they
swing that is just pretty. Line to center field, routine for Buxton. One away in the fifth. Lost his helmet on his trip around the bases. He didn't need. Churio out of the 9 spot with a big swing and a miss. Himself at first, and you can understand being the youngest kid on a star-studded team, something he had always dreamt. Churio's really matured, and kind of a crowning moment to that whole thing. Churio flips it into shallow center. Terang is out. 2 away. 4 2/3 for Nolan McLean.
He did what he was supposed to. The offense has got to wake up.
For 1+, and Keller was at the top of that list. He's on to face Acuna. This is with his. He's taking his lumps in this classic, though. Acuna grounds one up the middle to Witt. Will have to hurry with Acuna's speed. A low throw is picked by Harper. Bryce Harper bails. Rain coming up for the Americans.